Framework for me doing social brand building and building businesses is what's the brand stand for? What's the business objective? The next thing we do is we create 40 to 50 consumer segmentations, not 3, right? 40 to 50 consumer segmentations. 18 to 22-year-old males living in Bangladesh that are into esports. 21 to 27-year-old females in Tokyo making $200,000 a year. 40 to 45-year-old moms in Malaysia who have an affinity towards high fashion. Real specific consumer cohorts with real teeth, okay? Next on that is called PAC, platforms and culture. Like, do you actually understand what the platforms are doing? Next, which platforms are you creating for? You've now gone the whole way down. Now we're gonna pick Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And for me, every brand that's in this room should be on all of them. But this is back to allocation, where do their dollars go? So they can't, but they should, but they'd rather spend $8 million on a TV spot. So you lay out the platforms. Then you go to work. So now you created a framework. Now your creative and strategy team are ready to work. Now you start posting against the framework, right? You know what consumer you're going after. You know what you're trying to achieve in business. You know how the platforms work. So you know Facebook Reels is underpriced right now. You know that green screen headline creative is over-indexing on TikTok. You know. So you start making. Now the work really begins after you make. You have a person in your strategy team called a PCS, a post-creative strategist. Her and his job is to look at all the qualitative feedback. You have your analytics and media team look at the quant feedback. And you start making your machine smart, like a half-pregnant AI. The team gets smart through the work. You start looking at the proxies. When you've got a retail brand that sells in retail stores, you're running the media against holdout clusters to prove that you're actually driving incremental growth. If you have a DTC brand or an app, it's a piece of cake. You're just looking at the black and white data. When the creative goes viral or over-indexes its norm, it becomes the brief for more efficient and effective work. So now the virality, based on the consumer sentiment and intent and truth, becomes a proxy to your brief, not a strategist sitting in an office, going on Reddit for 4 hours, writing a brief. Then you do that forever and ever and ever. Your cohorts are an accordion. As you start getting affirmation that something's not working, you actually eliminate Malaysian moms 40, 45 because you aren't finding affinity. Your creative team hasn't hit the mark. On the flip side, while marketing to Indonesia gamers 13 to 15, you realize it's actually the female gamers 13 to 15 that are even more interested in the intent, and you create a new cohort to go there to double down on the truth of the consumer, not the audacity of the board. I want every person in this room after this conference to go home tomorrow and post somewhere between 8 and 15 pieces of content on LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Instagram, Snap, TikTok, and I want you to do it every day. I know that nobody wants to do that. I know this because I watch the world. This is clear. What I just said is 100%. It's non-debatable fact that the people that are outflanking in every micro segment of every business in the output of creative, and of course the quality matters. Of course the quality of what comes out of your mouth is a variable of your success. But before you even start the debate of what do you say, or what are you talking about, or how are you doing this, the data is undeniable that the companies and humans in service businesses that are outposting its competitive set are picking up market share by the simple fact of there's just too much attention of society on these 7 to 10 platforms. Tell me a good war story of a piece of organic content that went viral. Go.
Which one were you gonna say? We have a few, but one on Instagram, it was like over 1 million. It was this like mocktail that we did.
You should take that video and run ads against target audiences. Because the algorithm, aka the human beings, everyone's like, Mark Zuckerberg, China, it's fucking humans responding to shit. These platforms are very simple. They just want people to stay on it for as long as possible so they can run ads. So they're not like Zucks isn't pushing propaganda of like you loving VR. They're just fucking math. And so for you, that mocktail should be turned into an ad.
Even if it's not like, because we do a lot of education, so even if it's not our specific product, it's a healthy, hormone-friendly.
Correct. It's giving people awareness to your brand. It might not be sales-oriented. Like you might run $1,000 against it and get no sales, and you'll be like, fucking Gary. But meanwhile, what I know is that you did get sales, you can't attribute it to it. So now people feel fond towards you. 3 weeks later, they decide to buy it. They just go to the website because they know who you are, but you can't point to the ad and you're like, the ad didn't work. Well, the ad's definitely going to work because it already went viral. People are interested. I'm incredibly bullish on everybody here running ads after it succeeded on organic. That's something that we haven't lived in for a long time because it's not how the platforms worked. So we have it way better than we did the last 10 years. The following platforms are completely underpriced in both their organic reach and their paid media. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. This is profound. All of the platforms are underpriced on their organic reach and their media. What does this mean? How many people here have now gone viral on TikTok? You posted something and it got 1 million views. Raise your hand. Raise it. For the 7-10 people here that raised their hand, they felt the impact of underpriced organic. They posted something, they had 20 followers, 100 followers, 1,000 followers. They posted something and they got 1 million views. That is an enormously important thing for this room to talk about. In the history of marketing, that was never possible. You did not buy a full page ad in the newspaper. You did not buy AdWords on Google. You did not buy a television ad on television and they just miraculously gave you unlimited more awareness for more than you paid for. They didn't just give you 55 newspaper ads because you paid for one. They gave you one. This is why this is so important. A lot of you, including myself, grew up in an era where you would amass followers and you would post and you would get a percentage of those followers to see it. It was more email marketing than it was social. We are now in the post-TikTokification of social media, where you can absolutely get way more exposure than you've earned because you don't have to build a list or a community. You just have to make individual pieces of content. The best thing to do, this is a good time to answer this question. The best way to do anything is to be the truth. So sometimes I'm humble, and sometimes I'm egotistical, and sometimes I'm ridiculous. And this would be one of those times. I think your honest self is always the right answer. If you're trying to play to what the market likes right now, you're gonna always have to change, right? Right now, entrepreneurship is cool. By the way, when the tech bubble bursts, when God forbid, and I haven't been able to send my love to a lot of my business associates that live in the Paris area. I obviously grew up in the wine business, know a lot of people in that town. And so God forbid when that happens in the US and the market pops, entrepreneurship is not gonna be hot. Practical, paying your bills is gonna get hot. We've had a great 10-year run here that everybody's kind of living in right now, and all you youngsters haven't really tasted the alternative. You haven't tasted the stock market splitting in half, jobs not being available, you not getting recruited by everybody, your homies from school saying, come start a business with me. Practicality is really on the horizon. I see it. Oh, there you are, practicality. It's coming. And when it comes, it's going to be an interesting market change. This show, hopefully I'm doing it when it happens. Well, hopefully I'm not. So hopefully it doesn't happen for a while, but I think you have to be you, because I was entrepreneur when it wasn't sexy. I'm entrepreneur now, and I promise you, and I'll play this clip 22 years from now, I will be entrepreneur when it's not sexy again. A great fucking video, target it properly, get hundreds of thousands of people to see quite a bit of it, and then remarket them for a call to action and watch how many convert. You'll believe in marketing for the rest of your